Leanne, tell us a way that a new hire can impress their manager in the first 90 days.
I think there are several pieces to this, and I'll start with the first one, and that is to be prepared. This means be prepared. You're new, you want to be prepared for meetings with your mentor, your trainer, your manager. Everyone at the company within your team, they're going to be supporting your successful onboarding. Your job is to learn. You need to learn your data and your science if you don't know it already. And you also need to learn your competitors' data and and the science along with it. It's usually the same science, but you need to know their data. Then where do those differences lie between your data and their data? Maybe you don't have any competitors yet. That makes your job a little bit easier if you're a first in class. But you really have to know the data and the science, and really repetitiveness for you in the beginning is good. This is why you're usually set up with a mentor. You're asked, if you're doing a training module or modules online, a lot of the things you find will build upon the previous module. Repetitiveness is important. You want to take the time to really learn. Be curious. Be prepared, with questions. One of the things that I've done, and I always do, is I have whiteboards on my walls, and you can do this with flip chart paper. Tape them to your walls. Take different colored markers. Write down things that you are having difficulty either remembering or verbalizing. We all have those things. It's not uncommon. And put them up there. You're going to see them every day now, and you can change them out when you finally feel like you get it. You want to write pertinent information, maybe a pathway that you're having difficulty grasping, or some of the enzymes within that pathway, whatever it might be, but you're going to see it. You're going to learn it. You're going to see it every day. It might be trial statistics for your data, your competitors' data, anything that you think, you need to make sure that you are solid on. Put it up on your wall in front of you. Use color-coded things. I think, just try to stay on track. You have a calendar of what you need to complete. No excuses. Sit down, get it done. And use any tools that work for you, but that just happens to be one that works for me.
Yeah, you're such a stylish person. You're like one of the most stylish people I know. I could not imagine a ripped piece of paper going on, like tape onto your wall. Like, are you kidding me? I figured your OCD would go.
It's not this wall, but it's the wall in front of me.
But I could see a whiteboard with like beautiful handwriting and different colors meaning different things. I could picture that with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any horror stories of a person being majorly unprepared so that we can really understand what you mean by be prepared?
I think that you're gonna be on a schedule, right? You're gonna be meeting with your trainers. You're gonna be doing probably modules online. You're gonna have publications that you need to read. What I really find difficult is that when we lay out a training program for onboarding somebody, we know how long it takes somebody with the background that an MSL has to go through the training. And we've tested this. We know that you should be able to, at this point in time, you should know how to answer these questions. You should feel confident in understanding this background or this mechanism, or what plays into this disease. I really find it challenging when we're working with someone and they tell me they didn't have enough time, or there's a lot of excuses for one reason or another that come up. You were hired probably over a lot of other candidates who may have been just as qualified, maybe even more qualified, but somehow there were some qualities in you that set you apart and that we selected you. And I think that, especially in this job climate right now, as you would know, Michael, it's incredibly competitive. Show me what you have. Show me that you have some grit, that you can buckle down, that you have the wherewithal, and you can do this. Because I can't, and I don't want to, and for lack of a better word, I don't want to babysit a professional. I want you to, sit down. What I always do on my whiteboards, and I didn't mention this earlier, I have a side off to the right, I put my questions, things that I don't understand. What don't I know? What do I need to ask someone else? One of the trainers, or I need to go look that up. Okay. I think it's just being tenacious. When I don't see that, when I see sort of this waiting for somebody to help you kind of thing the whole way through, or you're not keeping up to our timeline, I start to wonder, is there something else going on? And I start to ask, how can we help you? How can we support you? If there's a different way that you learn, right? I want to understand that. How can we help you be successful? I think we want you to be successful. We hired you.